Hello friends, my name is Natalia Porsche and I am an attorney in the state of Mississippi, and in this video I will tell you why it is important to start your case if you're a juvenile, if you're under the age of 21 and you reside in the state of Mississippi and you have been residing in the state of Mississippi for the past 6 months. It is important for you, if you're undocumented child because you're under the age of 21, to start your process to receive a green card. So why it is important? Because this is your only option. This might be your only option to a green card, right? To get a green card in the United States, because you're under the age of 21 and you have been abandoned by one or both parents. First, you have to receive the order from the Chancery Court judge in Mississippi or a family court judge in any other state. And remember, guys, this is not an attorney's advice, okay? And please don't treat this as such. This is only general information for your general knowledge. For your specific case, you must contact an experienced family law and immigration lawyer. Again, to start this process, you have to file an application with a Chancery Court judge specifically in the state of Mississippi, or in any other state, a family court judge if you're under the age of, depends on the state, usually 18 in any other states, right? And you have to file a petition to adjudicate you an abandoned and neglected child by one or both parents. You file this petition again with a Chancery Court judge in the state of Mississippi and with a family court judge in any other state, right? So after you file this petition, of course, there should be a person who will ask a custody because you are a child, right? You're under the age of 21, for example, in the state of Mississippi. So there should be a custodian who will ask a Chancery Court judge to grant him or her a custody. And under the law, this custodian is not necessary, must be a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident. The status is a plus, but if this person is also undocumented, the only requirement is that this person must be a resident of the state of Mississippi, meaning that this person has been reside with this minor child in the state of Mississippi for the past 6 months. Okay, so this is the requirement, and this requirement must be met unless there should be some kind of emergency. But again, emergency, the federal law enacted by Congress, this specific act to protect minor children, does not state whether a Chancery Court judge can take an emergency, right? So it will be up to a Chancery Court judge. And what I mean by emergency, it means there is a extreme threat, right, to repairable harm to a child if this court does not take jurisdiction over this child. Again, this case is very different from what I am talking about, right? So we're talking about when a child has been a resident in the state of Mississippi for the past 6 months, as well as his or her custodian, the person who will be asking for a custody over this child, right? So, and now you go to court, you usually get an interpreter because majority of people who specifically in the state of Mississippi, they do not speak English. So if the person does not speak English very well, if the child is over the age of 12 or a custodian, you must get a certified or registered interpreter. Okay, so you go to court with your custodian, and if you are the child over the age of 12, therefore you also must participate in these proceedings, meaning you must sign the petition for custody that you are agreeing for this person to get a custody, and also that you can testify. And a big plus would be if you attend a school, for example, right? So you're under the age of, let's say, 14 or 16 or 18, right? And you're still participating in general education, right? Or on your path to get a GED. So judges also like that. They like to see that the child is actually occupied, the child is doing something, right? To promote himself in one specific educational area, for example. And so what happened next? After judge issue the order adjudicating you neglected or abandoned child by one or both parents, now you have a ground to file your I-360, and this is an immigration form which will first step with USCIS, which will start your green card process. This form is not a green card process by itself. It's just a form for USCIS to consider you for deferral action, for example, right? So because now usually when you file I-360 with USCIS, you're automatically granted a deferral action, and meaning that now you can apply for a work permit. This is specifically very important for juveniles who are under the age of 21 or who's over the age of, let's say, 16, 18, because these people, they have to support themselves. Their children children. However, they must support themselves. Remember, guys, these kids, they're abandoned, right, by one or both parents. And in a lot of instances, custodian cannot fully provide for them because every year these kids' needs increases substantially, right? They need iPhone, they need a vehicle, they need to work. So if they're over the age of 16, for example, or 17 or 18, so that now, therefore, they must have a work permit. And also work permit is so helpful as a way to identify themselves, for example, right? So for them to get a driver's license, because the person is authorized to drive, for example, in the state of Mississippi when they turn, I think, 16, if I'm not mistaken, or 15, with a parent authority, of course. So here you specifically have a case where the person actually is by himself or herself in the United States. So this person must provide for himself or herself. So work permit is very important. So again, you get to apply for a work permit when your I-360 form, which you filed with USCIS, is approved. Usually it takes anywhere from 5 to 8 months to get this form approved. So now USCIS, I have been seeing this a lot in almost every case that I work on. The USCIS approved I-360, and now it's automatically grants you a deferral action. So now you can apply for a work permit. So what happens next? So now you must wait for your immigrant visa to be available because you are in the 4th employment category. So now you have a wait time, and you can find out about the wait time by going to USCIS website. You will find a visa bulletin, and this visa bulletin specifically states when you are eligible to apply for a green card, right? When you're eligible to file your permanent residency application for 8-5. So there's a visa bulletin and there is a priority dates, right? Then you will have to look at your I-360 approval application and see when is your priority date, and see when is the priority date in a visa bulletin for the year when you're eligible to apply or you're trying to apply, right? So, and this is how you determine whether you're eligible to apply for a green card or not. Usually it's not a lot of country there in the visa bulletin, but usually you will have to wait from 1.5 years up to 3 years, 2.5 years in order to be eligible. That's why work permit is very, very important for you to have. Therefore, you can get your driver's license, and you don't need to, and insurance, and you don't need to keep getting those tickets for no driver's license. Because remember, for example, in the state of Mississippi, this kind of ticket citation, they carry jail time. So you don't want to jeopardize yourself, right? So that's why you need to have a work permit. Therefore, you can get a driver's license, Social Security. You can legally work in the United States. I hope this video was helpful. Again, guys, please don't treat this as an attorney's advice. This is a general information only. I decided to make this kind of video so that general public can understand. People who cannot afford lawyers' fees are very expensive. And therefore, if you need an attorney's advice, please contact an experienced immigration lawyer. You can also contact my law firm. You can call 228-229-7500. The phone number is down below, or go to a website, www.nataliaporschlawfirm.com. Thank you so much for watching this video. Goodbye. Have a great day.